Storyline for Game 2 tonight in the Lakers playoff series against the Houston Rockets is whether Kevin Durant will be in the lineup. The 37-year-old Durant missed Game 1 Saturday with a bruised knee. The Rockets are listing Durant as a game-time decision. Durant is fifth on the NBA all-time scoring list. He leads the Rockets with 26 points per game. Despite Durant's uncertain status, the Rockets are still 4.5-point favorites to beat the Lakers tonight. 7:30 tip-off at Crypto.com. AJ English is the new men's basketball coach at HBCU Virginia Union. English replaces Lester Butler, who became head coach at HBCU Winston-Salem State. English was the NCAA Division II Player of the Year in 1990. Later that year, he was a second-round pick in the NBA draft of the Washington Bullets. The Washington franchise changed their name to the Wizards in 1997. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Stand up! When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect Black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, Black voices, Black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected. Stay informed. Stay loud.
Stand up!
Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson. To the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. The skies are purple today as we honor and commemorate the life of Prince, whose amazing legacy is nothing short of extraordinary. We'll get to that in the second segment of the first hour. However, I want to just comment on the news. The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, is home alone. Where should he be? He should be in Pakistan, negotiating with the Iranians the end and the ceasefire of this peculiar war that Donald Trump has engaged us in. But the Iranians unilaterally and well within their rights decided not to attend any peace negotiations. And so J.D. Vance, if he's not at the White House, he's probably locked up somewhere at the Naval Observatory, home of the Vice President of the United States, playing with his Rubik's Cube, playing with his chess set, his checker set, playing with a Raggedy Ann doll, playing with some toys. But one thing he is not doing is negotiating peace on behalf of the people of the United States of America at this hour in Pakistan, because J.D. Vance and the President of the United States, in fact, the entire country, does not have the leverage that it thought it had in this conflict. And without that leverage, the Iranians continue to control the traffic in the Hormuz Strait, which affects the global economy. And from the very inception of this conflict, Iran already calculated that the United States could bomb them into oblivion, into the Jurassic era, if they chose to. But for Iran, They understood the economic stranglehold that they indeed had over the entire world by simply being able to control the Hormuz Strait. And therefore, the terms of the negotiation for peace are not being determined by a first world nation, the so-called most powerful nation on earth, the most powerful military on earth. It is being controlled by a junta in Iran, a small number of people who get to dictate the course of the global economy. And it's almost impossible to imagine that Donald Trump has any curiosity in his mind that the conflict that he got the United States in, while bombs were bursting in thin air, gave any thought or reflection to the ramifications of strangling the global economy in the Strait of Hormuz as Iran's number one weapon. And the asymmetric warfare that they've engaged in, using drones as opposed to missiles. We spend $4 million per missile that we use to take out their drones, where we kill a drone, but their swarms of drones cost about $25,000, maybe $30,000 per drone. And now we are running out of missiles because we cannot produce $4 million missiles fast enough to attack or repel $25,000 to $30,000 drones with their amazing lethality and effectiveness. And it's just difficult for Donald Trump to say that we are winning a war when in fact we are retreating. Again, the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, who was supposed to be in Pakistan, the most powerful nation in the world, with the negotiating power of the United States government, is sitting at home playing ball and jacks, tiddlywinks, Monopoly, checkers, Raggedy Ann. He's doing everything except for negotiating a peace with the Iranian people, because the Iranian people and their government have decided they no longer want to talk to J.D. Vance or Jared Kushner or the other fella from the real estate empire of the Trumps that has been attending these negotiations. They don't see these negotiations as serious, and they don't believe that what they are offering is even deliverable, or that the United States would even keep its word in such a peace negotiation. Well, that's where we are on the international front. Liz King will be our very special guest in this hour. Recently served as Education Equity Senior Program Director for the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, a position she held from 2015 until 2025. In this role, Ms. King led the organization's work to ensure that all students are fully included in the welcoming schools, from early childhood through post-secondary education that prepare them for college, careers, life, and full exercise of their social, political, and economic rights. I am particularly glad that Liz is my guest in this hour because she is so conversant in so many subject matters. Liz, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, Congressman. Can't wait for the hour.
Liz, I know that we're going to be coming forward in just a moment, and I'm particularly grateful that you'll be joining us on this subject. And we'll also be honoring Prince, whose contribution to music, to peace, and to the world in the second half of the second segment of the show does matter. But just before we do honor Prince, I do want to gain your insights when we come forward on the current state of politics in the Middle East. They do matter. They matter for everyone who is on any single highway in Los Angeles, California, and here in the city of Chicago, because today, at $4.79 a gallon, I had to fill up my car, and these numbers are not going down between now and even conservative estimates suggest sometime next year. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More on our show with Liz King when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Pakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-242-1551. That's 800-242-1551. 800-242-1551.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Big Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot-stomping, heart-stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. In this hour, Liz King is going to be joining us to discuss our political issues of the day in the next segment. But I do want to acknowledge that Prince Rogers Nelson, simply known as Prince, was a multi-talented American musician, singer, songwriter, producer, actor, and film director. A pioneer of the Minneapolis sound, he blended funk, rock, pop, soul into an emotional and intense style. Prince was a virtuoso on the guitar, bass, keyboards, and percussion, and often played every instrument on his albums. He won Grammys and an Oscar for his semi-autobiographical film and album Purple Rain. This is the 10th anniversary of the passing of Prince Rogers Nelson. Gina, can I bring Millie forward now before we go to the clip, or you want to go right to the clip? Let's go right to the clip.
If serendipity was a story, then you are about to watch one of the most fortunate strokes of luck ever here at WCCO.
A mysterious gem unearthed on accident, giving people a glimpse into Minneapolis history through the eyes of a young musical icon. While we all had a feeling who this young boy might be, we knew we needed help from those who knew him best. It's a journey and story you'll only see here on WCCO. Deep in the WCCO film archives are hundreds, if not thousands, of opportunities to travel back in time. And on one reel, a treasure lay hidden, untouched for 52 years. April 1970. Minneapolis Public Schools educators went on strike. We restored the film to offer context to the educators' strike that happened in the same district just last month.
Okay, so there's the governor's mansion. That's kind of cool.
Matt Liddy is WCCO's production manager.
I grew up in Minneapolis, so all I cared about was looking at cool old buildings from the place I grew up.
But his curiosity turned into a discovery when he saw a reporter interviewing kids as teachers picketed in the background. And it was this young boy jumping around and later answering a question who left Liddy speechless.
So then I immediately just went out to the newsroom and started showing people and saying, I'm not going to tell you who I think this is, but who do you think this is? And every single person, Prince.
We didn't have the right equipment to hear the film, so a specialist helped us extract the audio, and then we heard his voice.
Are most of the kids in favor of the picketing?
Yep.
How come?
I think they should get a better education too, and I think they should get some more money, cause they be working extra hours for us and all that stuff.
Our excitement was palpable, but
we did not get him saying, I'm Prince Nelson.
Cue our investigation.
And that's all I feel. My name is Ronnie Kitchen.
when I was younger, I always said that one day I was going to play all kinds of music and not be judged for the color of my skin, but the quality of my work. And hopefully that will continue.
With this tear, how they want. I long for you to talk to me like you did that night in the restaurant. You spoke of love so openly, and again you promised me that you never leave. But now you're gone. With this voice I recall, sometimes I catch myself calling your name when you're not there at all. Please tell me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. That was Prince at his earliest age, showing a consciousness that young students, in a clip more than 60 years ago now, showed a consciousness for funding schools and suggesting that children needed more money, more educational opportunities, and who understood it better than Prince Rogers Nelson. And then the opportunity presented itself in his formative years to enter the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the backstory for that virtuoso, if you will, that improvisation with Tom Petty and George Harrison's son, in what can only be described as a song written by George Harrison from the Beatles that is normally played by the gods of the electric guitar. And they did not want Prince to perform, except George Harrison's son insisted that Prince be allowed to perform at this particular luncheon, the celebration of the induction of certain individuals to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Harrison's son insisted that Prince be given an opportunity to play with the gods of the electric guitar. And they called him, we got to play our guitars with that Purple Rain guy. That Purple Rain guy. Well, when Prince hit that stage after accompanying the so-called gods of the electric guitar, 4 white men, Prince had a jam session with My Guitar Slowly Weeps, a song that essentially they play to determine the basic standard for the electric guitar. And keeping up with Prince was their greatest challenge. So much so that some have even called it the greatest performance on the electric guitar ever. And then, of course, the final tribute to Prince, the tears that he brought forward, his understanding of the human spirit and music, nothing short of legendary. With that said, Millie is joining us from, I think, Minneapolis, St. Paul in Minnesota. Millie Phaeton is reporting live from Minneapolis. Millie, share with us the 10th anniversary of Prince's death and what it means for not only people within your state, but people around the country and around the world. Millie, go ahead. I don't think Millie can hear us. Millie will be with us in just a moment. Millie, whenever you can hear me.
I you know, this day
I think we're losing Millie again. Millie,
hear me okay?
I think you're perfect right now. Don't touch anything. You're perfect. Go ahead, Millie. We're listening.
Let me go back. Okay. All right, great. Yeah, you know, this was one of those you remember where you were when you heard the news days. And for me, I was in Chicago running around for the last minute touches of a birthday party. My birthday is tomorrow. And so thank you. So, this day just kind of always sticks with me. And Prince had been and always still remains to be my favorite all-time artist. And started listening to him when I was way too young and went to my first Purple Rain concert tour in 1985. Again, way too young. But just throughout my life, his music has always been just super impactful. And then in my later adulthood, he became an artist that I really appreciated for using his platform for something bigger than just the music and something bigger than selling records. And really is who he was as an activist. And as I grew into my own activism as an adult, it's something I looked at, wow, like this person has got one of the biggest platforms across all genres of music, and is using that platform to really speak on the things that are really important. And so when I looked at just, how he got around Black Lives Matter, how he, recorded this song, Baltimore, after Freddie died in Baltimore, just some of those things that, a lot of times you just don't see people with public platforms that are willing to use it for something greater than their own hype, if you will.
Millie, Prince was both political and spiritual. That's what you're contending.
Absolutely.
And the context for that spirituality obviously gave space for him to develop really into a kind of leader in the industry, that this was their creativity, that they should be respected for their creativity. And in finding that voice, in finding that inner voice for himself, he was able to articulate a voice for people who were downtrodden.
Right. And I think just even his willingness to, I think in today's music, the way that we're seeing people take ownership of their music, he really set the platform and the blueprint for that. Saying that he wasn't going to be a slave to his record label, essentially writing slave on his face, but it set the precedent for people taking ownership and for the things that they created. And so I look at that, and I look at the fact that he was at the forefront of, I believe, what he knew artists coming up were going to have to face. And so he wanted to be that example.
Millie Phaeton, thank you for joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Absolutely.
I am so grateful that you were here. We look forward to having you back in the not too distant future. I know there's a lot of activity taking place in Minneapolis today, and we are there in heart, we are there in mind, and we are there in spirit. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Liz King when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bray Wood with BIN News Now. A bipartisan bill advancing in the House would block deportations of Haitian immigrants. 6 Republicans joined Democrats to restore temporary protections. Representative Marie Woodson migrated from Haiti to South Florida and supports the move, also wanting the travel ban lifted.
This travel ban does not simply impose barriers to entry. It erects walls of divisions.
It now heads to the Senate for a final vote. Black former Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard is now on the ballot in Georgia, running for Fulton County Commission as a Republican after admitting she collected Illinois taxpayer money while living in Atlanta. She made nearly $20,000. And Kimora Lee Simmons is headed for another divorce. Court records show her estranged husband, financier Tim Lesner, has filed to end their nearly 12-year marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new Chili Crisp Dumplings paired with a premium beverage drink. like our new strawberry watermelon lemonade energy refresher. Both for just $5. Only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The number one storyline for Game 2 tonight in the Lakers playoff series against the Houston Rockets is whether Kevin Durant will be in the lineup. The 37-year-old Durant missed Game 1 Saturday with a bruised knee. The Rockets are listing Durant as a game-time decision. Durant is 5th on the NBA all-time scoring list. He leads the Rockets with 26 points per game. Despite Durant's uncertain status, the Rockets are still 4.5-point favorites to beat the Lakers tonight. 7:30 tip-off at Crypto.com. AJ English is the new men's basketball coach at HBCU Virginia Union. English replaces Lester Butler, who became head coach at HBCU Winston-Salem State. English was the NCAA Division II Player of the Year in 1990. Later that year, he was a second-round pick in the NBA draft of the Washington Bullets. The Washington franchise changed their name to the Wizards in 1997. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580. Your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
Imagine every pregnant person in LA County having the support they deserve. A doula on every block. Doulas provide emotional, physical, and informational support during pregnancy, through labor, and beyond. Medi-Cal now covers doula care. That means you can get the support you need or train to support families in your community. The LA County Medi-Cal Doula Hub is here to help. Learn more and get started today at ladoulahub.com.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guarantee. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to Tenacious Tuesdays, and our very special contributor in this hour is none other than Liz King. Liz joined the Leadership Conference for Civil Rights. Ms. King served as Senior Policy Associate for Education at the Children's Defense Fund, where she focused on school discipline reform and school funding equity. Liz, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, Congressman. Always good to be here.
Liz, before we find ourselves way over in the middle of the Middle East and the middle of the conflict, Prince Rogers Nelson, an extraordinary individual with an extraordinary contribution to music, to spirituality, to human history, and to social movements. Liz, your thoughts on Prince Rogers Nelson?
Yeah, what I've been thinking a lot about is how, obviously brilliant in so many ways. And one of the ways that I think matters the most for me that I think about with Prince and his legacy is his ability to blur lines and to live in the complexity and the nuance of human reality. And it makes me think of the King speech that he gave in 1965 at Oberlin, the commencement speech. He says, "For some strange reason, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality." And I just think about all of the people who were given permission to be a little bit more who they are because of Prince and the way that he showed up and he was who he was. And we're in this political moment where they're trying to shove people in these tiny little boxes. And there's only one way to be this, and there's only one way to be that. And I think so much of the brilliance of Prince, and I think this was political and spiritual and just reality and personal for him, so much of his brilliance was about, moving across, transgressing, moving across lines, blurring lines, and sort of occupying these different spaces and just celebrating all the different ways there are to be a human. And I'm so grateful to him for that, and really think he did such an important service for all of us in our culture as a country in the way that he lived his life and just how he showed up on the stage.
Liz, Prince was at the top of his profession, the top of his field, maybe the very best that we've ever seen in terms of his virtuistic capacities, his understanding of music, the way in which his senses interacted with sound. And yet, Prince, in that context, being as unique as he was, still saw himself in many ways as a slave. What was Prince trying to communicate with us in that moment?
I think he saw that even in this, he had so much power in so many ways, and yet he still lived in a system that didn't value and respect his humanity, that didn't value and respect his self-determination and his inherent human right to own his own work, to own his own brilliance, to control his own destiny. And I think that sophisticated political critique was just so important, such an important critique of the situation he found himself in, but of a larger system that just didn't allow for artists to have the power and the control and the autonomy that they are entitled to by their human right.
That's interesting, because so many artists today are now fighting for their masters. They're fighting to control their sound. They're fighting to control their lyrics. Even the deceased, Marvin Gaye's estate, challenged Robin Thicke. This is in large measure because of the civil and human rights movement that Prince led in the industry. God bless and forever protect the spirit. Long live Prince Rogers Nelson. Liz, if I can pivot for just a few moments to to the conflict at hand. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are not in Pakistan today negotiating with the Iranian people or their representatives for a lasting peace. But when we listen to Donald Trump on the television and we see the tweets, there's obviously this bravado that comes from Pete Hegseth and from the administration. But I opined at the very beginning of the show that the vice president of the United States is at home playing tiddlywinks in large measure because they don't control the outcome of these negotiations. Your thoughts on the precarious position that the United States finds itself in at this hour?
Well, Congressman, first, I just want to start with a reminder, which is there is a group of people who have the opportunity today to vote on what is happening. And that is the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. There's an election today. If you are listening, you live in Virginia, if you know anybody in Virginia, make sure today is the day to vote on this redistricting. And, you know, these things, it's a lot of downstream stuff and it'll take time to have an effect, but it is going to be seen, properly understood as a referendum for what is happening right now. We saw Trump has recorded a video telling people, hey, don't vote yes on this thing, because if you vote for this thing, they're going to constrain what I'm doing in Iran. They're going to constrain what I'm doing with the federal government. And so he understands that it's clear, there's a clear connection. So just first, as that advertisement, if Barbara Arnwine were here, what would she say, right? Everybody get to the polls today. If you know anybody in Virginia, make sure they vote. It's April 21st. It's a weird time to have an election. It's a weird topic to have people coming out and vote on this referendum question. But first and foremost, the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia have an opportunity today that none of the rest of us have, and that is to vote and show up and be heard. Because what is happening in Iran is a disaster. It is a disaster for the people of Lebanon. It is a disaster for the people of Iran. It is a disaster for the people of the United States. I mean, this is terrible. This idea that Trump would drag himself, drag all of us, drag the world into such an awful, awful war. What J.D. Vance needs to be doing right now is crack open that Bible. He needs to track down all these centuries of papal records. He wants to call himself a Catholic. There is just war doctrine. He has some learning to do. He is unaware of what the Prince of Peace has to tell us about what it means to wage war, what it means to use swords, what it means. I mean, you go through this book he claims to believe in, and I think whatever nonsense he has himself up to, I mean, thank goodness, who even knows where he's meant to be right now. But what I want this man doing, what I want every single one of them doing, is read the Sermon on the Mount. You go, you open that Bible, and you understand what is called of you as followers of Jesus Christ. You go and you read and you learn, because they clearly have lost the plot here. I mean, this is a mess. This war never should have happened. They can't figure out how to get out of it. It is terrible. It is costing lives. It is costing treasure, and is making everyday life more expensive for everybody.
If Barbara Arnwine were here, and she will be here in the next hour, she'd be saying, come on, folks, y'all need to vote in Virginia. Come on, folks, y'all need to vote. And so Barbara Arnwine will be here momentarily to talk about that vote. Liz, in the final 2 minutes before we come forward, let's turn to congressional ethics for a moment. Congresswoman Sheila Cheraflus McCormick has now resigned. She's the third member of Congress to resign in the last 2 weeks, two being Democrat and one Republican, over serious conflicts of interest, of ethical issues, and in the case of at least Swalwell and Cheraflus, criminal conduct. She's been indicted. Swalwell could very well be facing indictment in two different, maybe more jurisdictions, and of course a Republican for just basic harassment. Congress and the ethics standards of Congress are changing as we speak. Liz?
Yeah, I think, Congressman, there's a lot to say here. I think, one important reminder is that there's a lot of ways that members of Congress steal money from people, and it may or may not show up in the criminal code. I mean, when we saw them pass that terrible one big beautiful, what they called that one big beautiful bill, and they took healthcare away from families, when they took nutrition away from children and families. I mean, let's talk about what institutional violence is and how that shows up. And I think let's have a conversation about congressional ethics. Let's have a conversation about your obligations under the Constitution. Let's have a conversation about your ethical obligations to the people who live in this country and deserve better than they have been getting from these congressional Republicans. So we can talk about who has and has not violated criminal law and what should be the ethical standards when there are accusations of violations of criminal law. But I want to have a bigger conversation about what is the ethical obligation of the leaders of this country.
I suspect these will not be the last members of Congress who will be resigning in the next several months. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward. We're with Liz King in this hour.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Fred Martin, founder of Compton Kids Club. I just want to talk about the authenticity and tell y'all about my homeboy, Tom Steyer. Tom is a rock star. When I met him, Tom gave a grant to schools in San Francisco. All the kids were on probation. We were flying instructors for 2 years to come and help those kids doing performing arts and turning their life around. Some of the kids that he supported, they've graduated from UCLA. Let's fast forward. Tom is in schools in Compton, hanging out with the kids in the piano classes. Brother Tom Steyer hangs out in the studio with us. These are the seeds that he's planted. This has nothing to do with elections. What's coming out of his mouth is not a campaign speech. It's authentic. And when he say he walks away from a business because he want to do his values, he ain't making that up because he's running for governor. This man is real.
Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
You better work. She's rooted in culture and rising in power. Los Angeles City Council member Karen D. Price Jr. invites you to the District 9 Women's Leadership Summit, a powerful gathering celebrating the women who shape our communities. Join us Sunday, May 3rd from 1 to 6 p.m. Registration is open now, but space is limited. District 9 residents receive special priority. This event is free. Call 323-846-2651 to reserve your spot. That's 323-846-2651. Be rooted, be powerful, be there.
When temperatures climb, LADWP wants to help you stay cool indoors, starting in your attic. With quality attic insulation, your home can stay more comfortable during hot summer days and help lower your energy bills year-round. It's a smart way to save. And for a limited time, LADWP has increased the attic insulation rebates to make upgrading more affordable. Act now to start saving. Visit ladwp.com/attic. That's ladwp.com/attic.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's cal-cruise-news.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center in Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. In this hour, our very special guest has been none other than Liz King. In the next hour, Barbara Arnwine will be joining us, along with AFT Vice President Stacey Davis Gates, as well as the founder and executive director of the Lawyers of Good Government, Tracy Fiat Love. They will be with us in the next hour. Please share our program. If you're listening to us on Facebook, hit the share button and let other people know that we are having a serious discussion right here at KBLA Talk 1580. Liz King, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, Congressman. Always good to be here.
Liz, help our listeners understand the difference between the criminal due process standard, which all of us are entitled to under the Constitution, and the perception of impropriety standard as a member of Congress, and how, in fact, the impropriety standard, while it may not rise to a criminal standard, it certainly is a standard that we can't afford to ignore in this highly volatile political climate. Please help us understand, Liz, before we get to our word of hope.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, Congressman, is just there is a reality that the people deserve a Congress they can trust. They deserve not only that to know that not only have members of Congress followed the letter of the law, but they have behaved in a way that is respectful of their constituents, that demonstrates a understanding of the law and a willingness to be held accountable. And, you know, this perception of impropriety is an important standard. It's important for us to be able to think about what's going on. We know the public opinion of Congress is incredibly, incredibly low. I think there are some, though, who think that reputation of Congress can be improved by expelling individual members who have engaged in wrongdoing. And I think that is not the whole story. I think that the people deserve a Congress that is meeting their real, actual daily needs. They need a Congress that is working to ensure peace and not war, both at home and abroad. They need a Congress that is working to ensure that everyday life is affordable. You know, we saw that Trump speech over Easter where he said, well, we can't do daycare, we can't do healthcare because we need to go blow up people in other countries. What we need is a Congress that knows and understands that we are entitled, each of us, to our civil rights, our human rights, and the opportunity to live a life of dignity in which our needs are being met and our work is valued. And I think what I hope comes out of this sort of focus on congressional ethics is a broader understanding of why the trust is broken, what the people deserve of their Congress and what the obligation of every individual member of Congress is. It is not to enrich themselves while making everybody else's life harder. And I think that's what we're all seeing on a daily basis. And we're tired of it. We're all just tired of it. We deserve a Congress that works for us.
I think that the personal errors of judgment, and some of them not errors, they're just clearly criminal conduct or ethical conduct that has to be challenged, and everyone should be held to the highest possible standards, particularly if we represent the people. And even in my own life, I know there were shortcomings where I could not, for whatever reason, personally reach the standard. So I don't absolve myself from any of the mistakes that I made in my life or in my past. But I also want to be clear that to make the distinction between the personal ethical judgment of members of Congress who err in large measure because they are human, and they make mistakes and they must be held accountable for those mistakes, are different than the point you made about the policy shift. That spending $1.5 trillion building a military that would be the largest military in the history of the world to bomb people is different than the priorities of feeding people and fighting for healthcare and housing and education and the basic needs of the people, which may come from imperfect people who are still arguing the policy perspectives that matter to us, while, for example, shifting the military budget to the astronomical numbers that we're looking at right now might be considered unethical and immoral at a completely, and illegal at a completely different level. Am I right about that, Liz?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, these public officials signed up for the job, right? I mean, this is what it is to be held accountable. And that is what we're seeing right now. And I think it's also hard because we don't make distinctions among the various accusations. Some of these members of Congress have directly hurt other people. They have used their power, they have used their bodies to hurt other people. And I think that is something we need to understand. Absolutely. And vocally condemn in the ways that it deserves to be. I do think that's materially different than Absolutely. People who made mistakes in accounting and were not careful enough and got sloppy and they shouldn't have gotten and they should have known better. And I mean, these distinctions I think are relevant. But I do think at the end of the day, what matters most to me, is that they are working to be better people. And most of all, they are working to create the society and the country that we all deserve. And that is not what is happening today. That is not the win today. That is not the accomplishment today. As a result of what happened today, nobody gets to go to the doctor more. Nobody gets to eat lunch more. Nobody gets a job that pays them a living wage. And that's what we need to see more of. That's the focus. That's what should be happening.
Liz, we have about a little less than a minute for your word of hope. And that was very close to one right there, by the way.
I think that there is always work for all of us to do, and none of us are perfect, and all of us are on a journey and trying to do a better job. And for people who live in Virginia, doing a better job is make sure you and everyone votes. But I'm just going to say, if you have not seen the video of Barack Obama and Zohran Mamdani with the little kids in New York City, go find that video, go watch it on repeat, and remind yourself that there are public servants who are doing the job. There are public servants who are trying to do what's right. And it's okay, because these beautiful children are going to lead us. They're going to get us there in the future. And it is, keep hope alive. The babies will get us there. It's going to be all right.
And that video shows Mayor Mamdani being supported by Barack Obama in his efforts to expand healthcare to 2,000 very needy children in the city of New York. Liz, thank you for being with us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you so much, Congressman. Can't wait for next time.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, Barbara Arnwine, also the AFT Vice President, Stacey Gates, and at the bottom of the hour, Miss Fiat Love will be joining us. She is the founder for Good Government, a director of Lawyers for Good Government. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A bipartisan bill advancing in the House would block deportations of Haitian immigrants. 6 Republicans joined Democrats to restore temporary protections. Representative Marie Woodson migrated from Haiti to South Florida and supports the move, also wanting the travel ban lifted.
This travel ban does not simply impose barriers to entry. It erects walls of divisions.
It now heads to the Senate for a final vote. Like former Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard is now on the ballot in Georgia, running for Fulton County Commission as a Republican after admitting she collected Illinois taxpayer money while living in Atlanta. She made nearly $20,000. And Kamora Lee Simmons is headed for another divorce. Court records show her estranged husband, financier Tim Lesner, has filed to end their nearly 12-year marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour, weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new Chili Crisp dumplings, paired with a premium beverage drink, like our new Strawberry Watermelon Lemonade Energy Refresher, both for just $5, only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The number one storyline for Game 2 tonight in the Lakers playoff series against the Houston Rockets is whether Kevin Durant will be in the lineup. The 37-year-old Durant missed Game 1 Saturday with a bruised knee. The Rockets are listing Durant as a game-time decision. Durant is 5th on the NBA all-time scoring list. He leads the Rockets with 26 points per game. Despite Durant's uncertain status, the Rockets are still 4.5-point favorites to beat the Lakers tonight. 7:30 tip-off at Crypto.com. AJ English is the new men's basketball coach at HBCU Virginia Union. English replaces Lester Butler, who became head coach at HBCU Winston-Salem State. English was the NCAA Division II Player of the Year in 1990. Later that year, he was a second-round pick in the NBA draft of the Washington Bullets. The Washington franchise changed their name to the Wizards in 1997. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580. Your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Tenacious Tuesday, and we're on the grind. Attorney Barbara Arnwine, the president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition, and internationally renowned for her contributions on critical justice issues, including the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act, and her present responsibility organizing No Kings marches all across the United States, where they are only expected to continue to swell and to grow. Barbara, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
What a pleasure it is to be on your show today.
Barbara, you have a very special guest that you'll be bringing on the show.
Yes. I can't wait. I just can't wait to introduce her. Tell me when she's there, and I will keep rolling.
Barbara, there's so much going on in the world. I look forward to the president of the Chicago Teachers Union and AFT Vice President Stacey Davis Gates joining us momentarily. Barbara, the war isn't going as President Trump has planned. And the consequences of it for the midterm are extraordinary. He said the war would take just a couple of weeks. We are now 8 weeks in to that process. Barbara, your initial thoughts about where we are in this conflict?
Well, it's clear that he's lost. He's going to come up with some kind of I mean, it's clear to me that he's going to send his guys in there and say, settle this thing somehow so I can get out of it. Please save me from myself, because he created this terrible mess. And have you been watching what's happening in Asia?
The markets?
No, the people. They're suffering because they don't have enough oil to run air conditioners. So you got TV hosts getting on the show, taking off their jackets and saying, we're trying to be cool because we know people are suffering from the heat and have no air conditioning. There's from one Asian country to another, there's massive, failures of power, and people are just suffering. We're not at that stage yet, but that's what's happening in Asia right now. And people are putting memes up. They're putting video up of their suffering, of not being able to, drive their cars, all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is serious, everybody.
Barbara, I don't know what to believe when I see the memes. I try to look for the credible news sources to give me that particular story, and I apologize if I missed it. But I do have to share with you that one of my obvious concerns is that that China is going to insist that its energy resources are allowed to move beyond the American blockade and uninterruptedly bring their oil and critical access to liquid natural gas to the ports that the Chinese themselves and other Asian countries are demanding that happens. This could bring us dangerously close to a confrontation with another world power.
And I say that there's no way that we're going to enter into that confrontation. That we're going to bow, scrape, and get the heck out the way, and get this thing settled and over. I mean, it's Trump's amazing hubris, his belief that he's somehow above all other human beings, that led us into this, because every other president, was given the same appeal by Netanyahu and said, no way. We know that, and they listened to their intelligence briefers who told them this cannot be won easily. There's something called the Strait of Hormuz, that there's also, the just intransigence of the Iranian leadership, rulers, from all kinds of sectors, and said, you just can't expect to win this, that it's not winnable, and we don't want to get mired down. That's why they settled, and that's why he's going to settle. And he's going to settle for more money than Obama did. After raising all this hell, after causing all this human suffering, people dying because they don't have, the fuel to run their hospitals in different countries. People, this is a disaster of his own making, and he is trying to declare victory, trying to put on a big face in front, but it's a disaster.
Barbara, in the last hour, Liz King credited you with your work that you are doing across the country in the area of voter registration and participation. An important election is taking place on this day in Virginia. Barbara?
That's correct. In Virginia, everyone, the issue is redistricting. Again, the president started some mess. He started this mid-decade redistricting, and he had the nerve to order his colleagues in Texas to do this mid-decade redistricting so that they could, quote, take over the House, because he knows he can't win the House because nobody wants to vote for his party right now, because his party is so captured by him that it's not ruling in the interest of the people. So he started this mid-decade. So we had, Texas passed their 5 seats that they grabbed doing major damage to Black political power in the state. So California retaliated and grabbed some seats, and then other GOP-controlled states started grabbing more seats. And now the Dems are saying, we got to fight back. We just can't sit here and allow them to steal another election. So what you have had happen is that in Virginia, they're trying to pass mid-decade redistricting that would counteract the redistricting redistricting that has been done by the GOP controlled states. So instead of just doing it like they've been doing it in the GOP states, they've just been passing this through the legislature, the redistricting. In Virginia, they have an actual referendum on the ballot. So the people get to speak. And I can tell you, I live in Maryland, folks, and work out of DC. So I am constantly seeing all the media regarding regarding what's going on with this battle. So I see all the commercials, and it's evil the way they are misusing Black history and just telling lies. So it's been fascinating to watch this battle. So the people, if you are in Virginia,
Barbara?
this is your last day to vote. Yes.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward with Barbara Arnwine on the grind in just a moment.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Pakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-242-1551. That's 800-242-1551. 800-242-1551.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Big Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot-stomping, heart-stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Jackson Jr. Show. King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Barbara Arnwine also serves as co-chair and facilitator of the National Commission for Voter Justice, the Millennial Votes Matters convenings, and the Voting Rights Alliance. Barbara, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Barbara, just before the break, the way I think I heard you say it was like this. What had happened was Donald Trump wanted more votes in the Congress of the United States, so he called the governor of Texas to find him, I think, 4 or 5 more seats.
Five more seats.
5 more seats. Then, in reaction to that, what had happened was the governor of California and the governor of Illinois then decided that they were going to consider mid-decennial redistricting in order to protect seats for Democrats. And then when some of this activity took place in California, but some of this activity did not take place in Illinois, what had happened was the people of the state of Virginia put up a referendum, which is being voted on today, to tilt the scale in the direction of new seats in the state that give Democrats an opportunity to control Congress and therefore allow Hakeem Jeffries to be the next Speaker of the House. How many more of these what had happened was are we going to be looking at in November, Barbara?
Well, there's no telling because he keeps cheating. So you don't know what else he's going to come up with. Come on. Who would have thought he would, some of the stuff he comes up with, telling the U.S., trying to pass, to enact an executive order, which thank God we have tied up in court right now in over 5 different lawsuits where he's trying to tell the USPS that if they don't use, that they can only use his national voter database that he's smashed together, and if somebody's not on that database, they can't even send their ballot to the election board. Did you hear me? That they cannot process their mail. He's telling them to tear it up, destroy it. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Don't even attempt to deliver it. The election officials don't even get the mail to make a decision if it's legitimate voter or not. He's saying, USPS, you can't even send that ballot, or you're going to face criminal penalties. You have to intercept that ballot, destroy it if it's not, or if the name of that person is not on, or very stupid, voter database. That's how ignorant he is. That's how dangerous they are. That's how far they will reach. So we don't know. And I'm sorry. I can just say, Gina, they are trying to get on the show and they're having trouble. So that's the problem. They keep writing me saying that they're having trouble joining us. Okay.
So, Barbara, I appreciate you sharing with us that our guests are having a problem joining the show.
Yes.
We'll figure that out.
I told them to call Gina, and I hope they will.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you so much, Barbara. So this spiraling situation comes also against the backdrop of the Calais decision, which is expected sometime in June, and I've even heard rumors that the Calais decision could be released on Juneteenth, to add insult to injury.
That would be like them to do something evil like that. But I do want people to know that decision day is tomorrow. There will be a decision day. I will be watching the court, as will a whole lot of lawyers around the country, to see what they do. Calais could be issued at any moment. I've been saying that for several shows now, but it's just the truth. Nobody controls the court but the court. And you probably saw that article, didn't you? From the New York Times, that expose about this court. Folks, they're not being fair-minded. There's a whole lot of manipulation going on in that court to get the results that they want. And too much.
That
Too
whole
much,
shadow
too
docket.
much. Hmm?
The shadow docket. I mean,
Oh,
what
yes.
is that?
Yes. Yes. That's to avoid having a real hearing and a real opportunity for people to argue their case so that the justices can just do what they want to in the background. But the real problem, folks, is not just that they're ideologically conservative and anti-Black, to many of the persons on the court, but the other problem is that they're in the capture of these billionaires. They're doing their duty. They're doing their will. They're making sure that the billionaires are happy.
I remember seeing a Harrison Ford movie when the Supreme Court was actually, I think it was called the Pelican Brief, where
Wasn't that
the
something?
Supreme Court was profoundly compromised by the private sector, by its resources, by the billionaire class, if you will. So much so that the opinions of the court itself were profoundly challenged. I think in that case, it was an environmental question. But for those of you who think that the Supreme Court is somehow some kind of independent governing body or branch of government that doesn't struggle with its own ethical problems, including but not limited to taking long and extensive and expensive vacations with the billionaire class,
Right.
taking advantage of yachts, their airplanes, and the idea that they would go fishing and not discuss cases in controversy.
Come on now.
It's just not possible. There's no reason to take Clarence Thomas anywhere if he's not discussing a case in controversy with the billionaire class. I'm particularly honored at this moment that Stacey Gates, president of the Chicago Teachers Union and executive vice president of the Illinois Federation of Teachers, before she was elected CTU president in 2022, Davis Gates served 4 years as vice president of the union. Madam President, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show and On the Grind with Barbara Arnwine.
Thank you for having me. I just talked to Barbara earlier today, so honored to be in your energy again, and so glad to hear the lift in your voice as you are managing the world as it is now, Representative.
Thank you so very much, Stacey. You know, we are so proud of work and the activism that you're engaged in. I know that Barbara wants to talk about May Day and the significance of May Day. Barbara, let me transfer this part of the conversation to you.
Well, thank you so much, President Gates, for being on the show today. And as we talked about it, there's no more urgent time for May Day than it is this year. Can you please tell all our mighty listeners around the country about why May Day is so important, how they can participate and be part of the May 1st activations being held in Chicago and all around the country?
Well, I'll start with the big deal of it. May Day is a holiday that is the legacy of workers who have been fighting for years to make all of this right. The issues that you all just finished talking about, the billionaire class, the convergence of money and power, and the 1% versus everyone else. You know, we have these high-minded conversations that are disconnected sometimes, and not we, not you all, but people typically have these high-minded conversations about, you know, fighting the billionaires, fighting the boss, but they don't ground it in the historical context of what that actually means and why it's important. This May Day, as a proud high school history teacher, we are doing something slightly different in Chicago. We are using our authority, our privilege as educators to give our young people an understanding of the power of the working class and why it's rooted and grounding in the experience of Black people in this country. W.E.B. Du Bois tells us that Black Reconstruction was brought to you by a general strike. W.E.B. Du Bois will also tell you that Black Reconstruction expanded the idea of democracy and created the public good. It was, in fact, a war, a civil war, where Black workers found the opportunity for mass liberation through the general strike. Now, these people were always in allyship with others, white abolitionists, black abolitionists, and movements even led by women, see Harriet Tubman. But it was the occasion of the Civil War that offered the leverage opportunity of leaving a plantation and crippling the Confederacy. When they did that, it changed the war's outcome. Workers changed the outcome of the Civil War, and those workers are Black. And so this idea of who the working class are and how important they are is grounded in the enslavement of Black bodies. It is the anti-Blackness and the revision of history by those who lost that impede both our resilience and our power, especially in this moment. So I would say that on the occasion of the Civil War, Black workers saw an opportunity to not just win their liberation, but to create a more expansive democracy. See the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendments. And all three of these amendments offer an interesting through line to this moment. Think about it. The 14th Amendment, due process and birthright citizenship.
Right.
How many times will the Trump administration take that to the Supreme Court? And it is the basis under which our immigrant families come to this country and seek citizenship, birthright. They have children here. The 15th Amendment is being challenged in this moment by the SAVE Act, right? This idea that we are enfranchised and can exercise the right to vote. It is the legacy of Black people. It is the legacy of Black workers, the United States of America that we get that has a Department of Education, Health and Human Services, because they create this through the Freedmen's Bureau. Remember, our people left plantations and didn't just say bye. They said we left the plantation and now we need public health, public housing, public education. And the Freedmen's Bureau begins to do this. Now, another interesting feature of the Freedmen's Bureau is that it becomes the first space where DEI happens. White women leave the households and they teach Black children in the South. So you get the underpinnings of the society that we are fighting to keep today through the liberation work of enslaved Africans, workers.
Wow. And I know you have a hard stop right at 4:30. So just take these last 2 minutes to just let people know what they need to do on May 1st and
how we can reach you and get instructions on how we can join the movement.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Well, MaydayStrong.org is the website where all of these things are being banked. We anticipate thousands of demonstrations throughout the country. We anticipate hundreds of demonstrations in our Chicago public schools. Chicago public school students should know two things: that the Haymarket Affair birthed the International May Day, and that workers' rights and the expansion of democracy are the legacy of Black workers. We're going to make sure that they know that this May Day, because that is our work as educators. And then we're going to ask their parents to do something with us to protest this erosion of our democracy. You can call it Rahm Emanuel erosion of democracy. You can call it neoliberal erosion of democracy. You can call it Donald Trump erosion of democracy. You can call it right-wing erosion of democracy. But the bottom line is that it's the erosion of democracy. And the very children that we teach every day will have to experience the brunt of this impact if all of us don't find community and the solidarity to resist it. That's May Day.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our very special guest in this half hour has been the AFT Vice President, Stacey Davids Gates, President of the Chicago Teachers Union and Executive Vice President of the Illinois Federation of Teachers. She is one of the foremost authorities on May Day, national movement, this coming May, to get the undivided attention of the American people and the importance of workers. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward on The Grind with Barbara Arnwine.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is proposing a more than $14 billion budget for the next fiscal year. Bass says it boosts funding for affordable housing and includes plans to hire 510 new police officers.
We're about preventing the shrinkage this year, and hopefully we'll get back to expansion in a few more years.
LAPD's largest union is praising the added police funding. Black South Florida Congresswoman Sheila Sherfless McCormick is resigning instead of appearing before the House Ethics Committee. The Democrat faced 25 ethics violations tied to the alleged use of $5 million in COVID relief funds connected to her family's healthcare company. And longtime Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, who is Black, is reportedly joining NBC's Football Night in America as a studio analyst. The move comes after Tomlin stepped down in January following 19 seasons with the Steelers. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new Chili Crisp dumplings paired with a premium beverage drink like our new Strawberry Watermelon Lemonade Energy Refresher. Both for just $5 only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The number one storyline for Game 2 tonight in the Lakers playoff series against the Houston Rockets is whether Kevin Durant will be in the lineup. The 37-year-old Durant missed Game 1 Saturday with a bruised knee. The Rockets are listing Durant as a game-time decision. Durant is 5th on the NBA all-time scoring list. He leads the Rockets with 26 points per game. Despite Durant's uncertain status, the Rockets are still 4.5-point favorites to beat the Lakers tonight. 7:30 tip-off at Crypto.com. AJ English is the new men's basketball coach at HBCU Virginia Union. English replaces Lester Butler, who became head coach at HBCU Winston-Salem State. English was the NCAA Division II Player of the Year in 1990. Later that year, he was a second-round pick in the NBA draft of the Washington Bullets. The Washington franchise changed their name to the Wizards in 1997. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, aka the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Paid for by government. The 1986 to 2021 United States Silver Eagle, the first ever U.S. silver dollar minted in 99.9% pure silver and is the best-selling coin in the world. These original and historic silver dollars have ceased production forever. They will never be minted again. For a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government-struck silver dollars are being released to the public. You can own a full pound of original U.S. silver dollar coins featuring Lady Liberty and the heraldic eagle, never to be struck again. Guarantee. Call now to secure original United States Silver Eagles by the pound. The first U.S. silver dollars ever to be struck in 99.9% pure silver. Plus, receive a free bonus, an American Collector's Pack valued at over $40 and free shipping with every order. Call 1-800-560-6468 now to secure your full pound bag of United States Silver Eagle coins before they are gone. That's 1-800-560-6468.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon?
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Today is the anniversary of the 10th anniversary of the passing of Prince Rogers Nelson. We've been remembering Prince here on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And in this particular hour, however, our very special contributor, Attorney Barbara Arnwine, president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition, has been our special guest. She also serves as co-chair and facilitator of the National Commission for Voter Justice, the Millennial Votes Matters convenings, and the Voting Rights Alliance. Barbara, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
It's great to be here.
Barbara, I am equally as excited that Tracy Fiat Love is the founder, executive director for Lawyers for Good Government, L4GG, and the L4GG Action Fund, a pioneering organization she established in 2016 to mobilize the legal profession to defend democracy and the rule of law, protect civil and human rights, and advance environmental justice. Under her visionary leadership, L4GG has grown from a grassroots social media community into a nationally recognized legal advocacy organization that has mobilized over 125,000 lawyers and delivered more than $150 million worth of pro bono legal services to underserved communities. Tracy, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show and On the Grind with Barbara Arnwine.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Barbara, I'm so honored that you brought Tracy with us today. She's going to be very busy defending democracy.
That's to put it mildly.
Barbara, our guest is Tracy.
Yes, Tracy, before you joined the show, we were talking about the court. And we were talking about the new expose from the New York Times, but I'm not going to take you down that path. I want to make sure all our listeners are aware that something very special is also happening on May 1st involving the legal community. Tell people what's going on.
Thank you so much. So May 1st, in addition to being May Day, is also Law Day. Now, Law Day has been observed for more than 60 years. This has been, for a long time, an opportunity for the legal profession to reaffirm our commitment to constitutional principles, but it has mostly happened in a very quiet, behind-the-scenes way. Last year, for the first time, we created Law Day of Action, where we're asking lawyers across the country to take a stand, to show up publicly and reaffirm their oath to protect and defend the Constitution. So Law Day of Action this year on May 1st, 2026, is a coordinated, nonpartisan, nationwide day of action when lawyers and judges will gather outside at courthouses and in public spaces across the country to make clear that the rule of law is non-negotiable. And I hope every lawyer listening shows up that day. We now have more than 52 events on the map.
Tracy, how can lawyers who are interested in Law Day communicate with you, share with you, and express their interest in how they can be helpful in the preservation of democracy?
Thank you for asking. The website is lawdayofaction.org. Through that website, you can see what events are near you. You can also sign up to host an event. It's not too late. We still have almost 2 weeks. And in smaller cities where there may not already be an event, it doesn't take much to put one together. If you sign up through the website, we will make sure you have the resources, the templates, everything you need to make your event a success. And if there is already an event scheduled near you, you can RSVP online and let us know that you're going to show up that day.
Wow. And
Tracy,
that's-
it's also clear to both Barbara and I that an effort like this does cost money. How can we join and support your efforts financially?
You're asking the most amazing questions. Thank you so much. Most of the resources that are being used to help fuel Law Day of Action are coming from contributions from individuals, bar associations, and organizations, including Lawyers for Good Government. Lawyers for Good Government is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that would very much need and appreciate any support that your listeners can offer. And you can learn more at lawyersforgoodgovernment.org.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Barbara?
Yes. I just want people to understand that lawyers are needed. There's so much they can do, right, Tracy? People all the time are complaining about, how do I vote? Why is my name not on the list? What are these problems? How do I use my mail-in ballot? I mean, people, they have those issues. Then they're like, somebody evicted me wrongfully. They're into, somebody told me I can't buy this house because I'm Black. Somebody lied to me about my job, application. What can I do? I need a lawyer, but I'm not rich. I'm not even, upper middle class. I'm just struggling. So why is it so important that lawyers, are involved not only in coming out in Law Day and reaffirming their oath, which includes, of course, if people are aware, our obligation to help the public good. Can you tell people about why we push so hard to make sure lawyers are out there helping the people?
You are so right that lawyers can do so many different things to make a difference in this moment. I think sometimes lawyers forget and think the only way we can be helpful is by maybe taking a pro bono case now and then. And that is not true. We do need lawyers taking pro bono cases, and we have a lot of opportunities for attorneys to do that through Lawyers for Good Government. But there are other things lawyers can do that are also very impactful. For example, submitting comments during moments where there are proposed regulatory changes that could have massive negative impact, showing up, helping to educate the public, helping to advise. We often will offer legal clinics that don't require you to take on long-term representation. So there are a lot of different ways, whether it is direct legal services, impact litigation, advocacy, education, all of these things can be done by lawyers and can make a massive difference. And I would argue, as attorneys, we have a certain amount of privilege and power that we are obligated to use in this moment.
And too many lawyers sit and don't do that. Go ahead, Jesse Jackson, please.
Barbara, I was just going to add that evidence also matters, I think, as we get ready to go into these polling places. If, in fact, we find ourselves intimidated in line, pull out your cell phone. Make the video. If you find foreign actors, and I don't mean by actors foreign from another country, but American actors intimidating people at polling places, film it. Upload it. Show the actions, document whatever we can document so that these lawyers can have access to the kind of evidence that in some cases, Tracy, might lead to keeping polling places open longer because of the behavior of these actors. Tracy, what kind of activity, given the nature of the polarization that we're expecting, can we expect in these primary contests as well as the general election? We've seen already some initial activity in Fulton County that is greatly disturbing.
Indeed. In fact, I live in Fulton County, so it is all too familiar to me. I want to lift up in this moment the work of organizations like the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law that runs election protection nationwide. There are many others that are doing that very important work as well. And you're right. The more individuals can hold up those cameras, which we now all carry in our pocket, and document what's going on and help the general public to actually see these crimes when they're taking place, see the ways in which the rule of law is being attacked, and our very right to vote, our voices as individuals and citizens in this democracy are being taken away, the better able attorneys will be able to push forward and protect those elections. And that is crucial right now.
Amen.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We're on the grind with attorney Barbara Arnwine, the president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition. And our very special guest is Tracy Fiat Love. She has organized more than 125,000 lawyers and delivered more than $150 million worth of pro bono legal services to underserved communities in our efforts to preserve and protect democracy. More when we come forward on KBLA, and our word of hope will be asked of our special guest, Tracy Fiat Love, at the top of the hour. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, Ahmad supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
My name is Tyrone Owens, and this is my home for 23 years that burned in the fire. Me and my wife, Charlene, we had this whole yard decorated every year.
This was a house that sparkled throughout the entire neighborhood on all the holidays. It's a community that will never be the same due to the negligence of the utility company. So I am pretty upset about that.
We were nowhere near being able to rebuild with our insurance. It's going to cost $1 million to put your house back up.
I want to get back to that point where we were before the fire. I'm starting to get emotional, but I'll work through it. LA Fire Justice has been wonderful for us. They're just caring people. We have all faith in them.
Big ups to LA Fire Justice, who's given us hope to rebuild 100%.
Advertisement. Douglas Foxer, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
You better work.
She's rooted in culture and rising in power. Los Angeles City Council member Karen D. Price Jr. invites you to the District 9 Women's Leadership Summit, a powerful gathering celebrating the women who shape our communities. Join us Sunday, May 3rd from 1 to 6 p.m. Registration is open now, but space is limited. District 9 residents receive special priority. This event is free. Call 323-846-2651 to reserve your spot. That's 323-846-2651. Be rooted, be powerful, be there.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to Tenacious Tuesdays. We're on the grind on the J Lunch Club with Barbara Arnwine. And in this hour, our final segment, Tracy Fight Love, whose name I've been slaughtering for the last 20 minutes. I'm so grateful that she's our special guest. Tracy is the founder and executive director of Lawyers for Good Government, L4GG, and the L4GG Action Fund, a pioneering organization established in 2016 to mobilize the legal profession to defend democracy and fight for the rule of law, protect civil and human rights, and advance environmental justice. Tracy Fight Love, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Show.
Thank you so much.
And my sincere apologies for slaughtering your name for the first part of this. It happens. My sincere apologies. Tracy, let me ask you a question. How do you prioritize the fight with all of these lawyers to save and secure our democracy? And I'll go one step further. Because part of that fight is about the restoration of the people's faith in the Constitution itself and the idea of the rule of law. And if there is any one thing that Donald Trump has done better than most, horrifically, by the way, is shake people's faith in the Constitution and shake their faith in the rule of law. In that every single day we get more evidence that Donald Trump is living above the law and not within the law and not even respecting and upholding the law. Tracy, how do we defend democracy and how do we prioritize the fights that we have to put forward?
This is such an important and honestly challenging question. For lawyers in particular, I think it's critical that we focus on process and systems. In other words, we often think of ourselves as advocates fighting for the interests of individual clients. But we can't do that if we're operating within a legal system that doesn't offer independent courts, doesn't offer due process, doesn't guarantee equal treatment under the law. So as attorneys, we have to focus on some of these things that from the perspective of the general public may not sound as important as some of the individual fights that we also have to take on. But this is the system, this is the process. As lawyers, we are trained to understand how it is supposed to work. And that means we know when it isn't working. And in those moments, it is our obligation to stand up and sound the alarm for the general public.
Thank you, Tracy. Barbara?
Yes, Tracy, is there anything else you want to say to our national audience about what lawyers should be doing not only on May 1st, but moving forward? Because the work just isn't a one-day work. It's going to be with us for quite a while. So share to those, how many lawyers are there right out there in this nation right now?
1.3 million approximately.
All right now. And that's out of a population of 320 million people.
That's
Folks, that's why lawyers are so important. So tell people more about May 1st, Law Day, and about what lawyers need to be doing moving forward.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is to commit to taking action and to understand that no one person, no one organization can take on everything. Your job is not to do everything, but your job as an attorney is to do something. If you're not sure what that something is, I'm so deeply sorry. If you're not sure what that something is, check out the Lawyers for Good Government Impact Docket. We send out an email every single week with a minimum of 3 to 5 specific actions that attorneys and members of the legal profession can take to make a difference. You will find something that you can do. We offer training, supervision, malpractice insurance. We make it easy, but you have to take that first step, sign up, look for ways you can make a difference, and take action.
Tracy, how do we get on that list?
If you go to l4ggaction.org and click on Impact Docket, you'll be able to see all of our past pages and fill out the form to subscribe.
Barbara?
And once again, give everybody that URL to become part of Law Day of Action.
Absolutely. And on that day, if you happen to be in the DC area, I will be there on the steps of the Supreme Court, and I hope to see you there as well.
So people, please, lawdayofaction.org. Go to lawdayofaction.org. Join us because as you heard from President Stacey Davis Gates, people all over the country are going to be turning out on May Day to say no work, no school, no shopping, and they're going to be having events all over the country to show that the people own this government and that we own this nation. But also, lawyers, we got to roll. Come on, lawyers. Let's be out there. Let's show that we stand for the Constitution and we will not allow our Constitution to be eroded during our watch. Thank you so much, Tracy. You are amazing. I love your just leadership and your vision and your incredible productivity. Just thank you for the impact you're having on our entire legal field.
Thank you so much.
Tracy, thank you for joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Barbara, we have about 1 minute left. Your word of hope before we close our show.
My word of hope is I want to actually do a shout out to Terry Sewell. Congresswoman Terry Sewell, thank you for calling RFK Jr. out for that outlandish removal and reparenting proposal for Black children. Please, people, we are the people. We control this government. Let's make our voices heard. Let's never let anybody try to take away our rights. We fought too hard for them and we'll never give them up without a major fight. And the fight is on. So come on, folks. We can't wait to see you in these streets on May 1st. Thank you.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been on the grind with Barbara Arnwine, President and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Very special guest, Tracy White Love, founder and executive director of Lawyers for Good Government, L4GG, and the L4GG Action Fund. When we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580, more.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.